All right, well, welcome back to another very special episode of Exhaust Sports Auto. We are once again here at Cary Imports to check out the 2015 Audi S7. This vehicle, as you can see by the title, has about 50,000 miles on it. And if you are interested, I actually already did a review on a 2014 Audi A7, and that vehicle had about 100,000 miles on it. So definitely check that out if you're interested in this, because I absolutely just fell in love with that vehicle. And this S7, this is going to be something special, I can already tell. So if you're interested in this vehicle or any other vehicles that they have here at Cary Imports, please do check out their website, because I come here very often. And the most important thing that I'm going to get across to you guys, and why I come to this dealership so often, is because please take advantage of their warranty. This is a great car. I love the A7. I'm sure I'm going to love this. Right, well, before we get carried away there, yes, epic car, but please take advantage of their warranty, because if you saw my 2014 video, that thing aged beautifully. And that's one of the things that people need to understand with Audis is, yes, they age perfect, just like a Lexus or whatever, an Acura, Genesis, whatever, one of those cars. This thing is aged beautifully. At the interior, the way it drives, the exterior, this car is flawless. This is the most cleanest car that they have on their dealership lot. So 35 grand, 36 grand, something like that, 50K miles, 2015 car with the warranty, highly recommended. So just be sure to take advantage of that. That's all I'm going to tell you. Let's get into some of the other aspects, like this exterior. You know, I talked about this in the A7 video. One of the best looking four-door cars out there. I mean, this is phenomenal. Actually, a lot of you even prefer these model year A7, S7 cars to the brand new A7 that just got released. So that says a lot about the design of these vehicles. It's stunning for sure, and it's super practical, like we're about to see. Let's go ahead and let's talk about this drive, because that's what's most important here. Yes, it's got about 52,000 miles on it, so you know it's pretty much aged perfectly, because that's just the way Audis are. And yes, it's got about 52,000 miles on it, so you know it's aged pretty much perfectly. That's great, because it's an Audi. However, there are a few specs I would like to talk about. This thing is rocking a 4-liter V8 twin turbo, produces about 420 horsepower, about 406 pounds-feet of torque. I drove the A7, loved it. I believe that had like a supercharged V6 thing going on. I love that motor too. The thing with Audis is that they're buttery smooth. That's epic. I noticed when I floored it in the A7, it was Tesla-like off the line. However, it kind of like bottomed out a little bit, you know, once you got up in RPM. This, I'm pretty sure this is going to fix all that, but you have to keep in mind this is a turbocharged vehicle, not a supercharged vehicle, so it's going to give you that instantaneous thrust. However, this car has the horsepower to back it up, so I'm sure it's going to be nice and progressive all the way throughout. It's not going to let you down to the higher RPMs, so that's good. And another thing you have to keep in mind with these vehicles is that this is the only vehicle during this time period to utilize a 7-speed dual clutch. That's just effortless off the line. Holy crap, dude. That was epic. Wow. That's not something I would like to continuously keep doing on this road, because this place is infested with cops, but just know that that was, if we had speed limits here, which we don't, because this is Mexico, Germany, whatever, that's where I do these reviews, right? That was about double the speed limit right there. If this was the United States. Anyway, yeah, that was sensational. And that's what I'm talking about. You know, this car really does address a lot of the power. I mean, obviously the A7 was just fine. I had no issues with that. I can easily daily drive that car. However, this is now what you would expect out of a traditional kind of German Luxo saloon car that's very expensive, because these things were like 90 racks or 100 racks or whatever when they were new with options. So this thing is worth about a third of the price now, which is why I recommend this car with a warranty used. But yeah, these were very expensive cars, and this is kind of the more effortless kind of power that you expect out of an expensive German car, and this car delivers that. It's very much like a rocket ship for sure. Again, smoothness, that's the key thing with an Audi. Everything about the braking, the steering, love all of it. We're actually even in the comfort mode right now. There's like a few different modes here, dynamic, all that good stuff. Put that in dynamic for you here. But anyway, all great stuff. This is a very, you know, like I mentioned, the the car is expensive, right? Brand new, I mean, there is no cost cutting here. A lot of aluminum being used with cars like this, you know, both in the chassis and the suspension. It's got like a multi-link front and like this trapezoidal suspension multi-link thing going on in the rear. Quality A-level stuff going on here. That's why it feels so substantial in quality to pilot these types of Audi cars, right? And these cars get like a lot of flack for being like, what do you call it? Jesus Christ. That is so good. But yeah, anyway, before I got distracted there, you know, these cars got a lot of flack for being like, you know, front-wheel drive based or whatever. Let me tell you something. If you've never driven an Audi before, they are sensational out on the road. You know, they are, I prefer, especially used, I prefer these to like BMWs and Mercedes, primarily because a lot of the Beamers, they ride really rough and they don't age as well as an Audi. Also, the Benzes age terrible. However, I do like their comfort and stuff like that. A lot of those cars come with nice, powerful twin-turbo V8s as well. However, the level of smoothness and way these things age, it's superior. Now, these things, they are heavy because it's like that hatchback design. It's about 4,500 pounds, right? So it's no lightweight, but that's fine. That's what gives it that substantial quality feel out on the road. It's about 195 inches long, so, you know, nice good wheelbase to this thing, similar to like, you know, a mid-size luxury car, right? Dude, this thing, like, it's turbocharged, but let me tell you something about this engine. It's a V8, and I love that. However, this can be a two-cylinder, a four-cylinder. You wouldn't know. It's just like this whisper, quiet engine that just delivers unbelievable thrust. It's just crazy. Sorry about that. That's my little camera there rattling about, because this cabin space, of course, is tremendously solid, well put together. However, I will say, compared to the A7, there's a little bit more noise in here, like road noise, tire noise, that whole thing. And I am noticing like there's one slight little weird ass noise coming from like the front, like driver's side tire area, I guess, like a little scratchy noise. I don't know what that is, but whatever. So all those things are great. But yeah, that motor is just so whisper quiet. You don't know that it's a V8. It doesn't have that traditional burbly sound or anything like that. It doesn't have like any turbo noises, nothing. Like nothing to kind of let you know that this is the beast that it is, really, this 4-liter V8. It's tremendous. Everything about this is so effortless too. Very just Tesla-like. Just hops off the line. Obviously, it's got that Quattro all-wheel drive thing going on, high quality all-wheel drive system that just, you know, I get why so many people love these things, is because, like, you know, all the supercar bros love it. It's like that daily driver, you know, you can drive this thing around in the snow, whatever you want. I mean, it's just great. But yeah, like I was saying before, you know, I was mentioning these types of vehicles, they use a lot of aluminum. That's how they are able to, get some of the best suspension geometries out there. High quality suspension, you know, a lot of aluminum parts, of course, being used, and the chassis as a whole, right? You know, that's what makes cars like this far superior to a Stinger. You know, that double the cost, it shows, and it's just not like a spec sheet thing. You understand? Yeah, the thing does like 0 to 60 in about 4.3 seconds or whatever. Who cares about that? The point is, cars that are hatchbacks like this are always not as solid as like the kind of sedan counterparts, if you will. Look at this. Look how just well this thing is gripping and sticking to the road, and it's just like ballistic acceleration off the line. Just you know, you're just not going to get that with other cheaper variations of cars that are trying to do a similar thing to what this is trying to do. You know, this hatchback, big Luxo saloon thing that weighs this much. It's not supposed to feel this good, but it does feel this good because of all the extensive amounts of, you know, quality components that they used. Not cost cutting, not taking shortcuts. But again, that's why brand new, these things are so damn expensive, which is why, again, used with the warranty makes far more sense than buying these things brand new, essentially, unless you're leasing or whatever. But again, this is the year that I really like because, A, the looks. You know, a lot of people, they like the looks of these things for sure. Also, you know, these are V8s now. You know, this is an S7 with the V8. Now, granted, I did mention that, you know, this thing is so smooth, you don't know what type of engine this is. However, you know, you do occasionally get that sensation like, oh yeah, it is a V8. Like, you hear that slight little burble. Not too much, just a subtle amount to let you know it is a V8. And when you do, hear that, it's great. The newer ones, they use like this 2.9 liter V6 turbo thing, which is fine. You know, I'm sure it's faster than this, whatever. But like, you know, this character, this V8, it's great. And another rather strange thing about these cars is they actually get really good gas mileage. You know, for being a turbo, for being a V8 or whatever, I think it's projected to do like 17 city, like 27 highway, something like that. Now, one thing you have to keep in mind with these Audis is that there is a level of understeer to this when you start pushing it the way I do. It's not terrible, it's well managed. Doesn't matter what RPM or what gear you're at. I mean, this thing is just great no matter what. Paddles are great. There's just no compromises with this thing, bro. Like, other than that slight bit of understeer, everything about this motor, transmission, it reacts flawlessly. Everything about this car, dude. And again, that you pay for that. That's why it's such a privilege to own something like this now. You know, this is going to be one of the best automobiles that you're going to own for the price. And I'm not trying to, like, you know, sell you on this thing or whatever. I'm just being completely blunt and honest here. This is far superior than what you're going to get with the other German cars at this age, essentially. But, you know, like I was mentioning, a slight bit of understeer, that's the only thing I noticed. It still rides beautifully, extremely well over some of the garbage bumps that I took it over. However, it's not riding quite as nicely as the A7, just a tad bit harsher than that, and that makes sense. As the S7, a little bit sportier, a little bit whatever. That's something you have to keep in mind with these things. So that's like the main three things I noticed with this: slight bit of understeer when you push it more, but, you know, on the public roads, you're not really gonna be driving like that. Well, you might be. I mean, like the way I'm driving it, it's super satisfactory. I'm not trying to, you know, do the whole dash or go crazy with it. It's just like, you know, slight bit of spirited driving. This is still super satisfactory. And the ride is still smooth, so I'm not really tripping over that, but I did notice a little bit more road noise, tire noise, whatever. That was the only other things I noticed with this thing. Otherwise, this thing is flawless. I'm being dead serious about this. It's such a high quality motoring experience for the money, and even 100 grand or whatever, 90 grand, even that is completely justified for a vehicle like this, because there's no compromises with this thing. And as we're about to see with this interior segment, we'll see how well that has aged as well. So let's get into that. Okay, this is another huge highlight to Audis. Now, the interior spaces are always just highly appreciated with Audis here. Let's just start out with the steering wheel. The steering wheel is the absolute perfect size. I love just how kind of open it is, so you can really see the gauges, but it's just a great shape. I love the big kind of bulge in the middle. I've always loved that. It's just a nice quality leather wheel to grip onto. You have these nice little petite paddles. However, they're still super satisfying to use. I don't mind that they're really small. I actually kind of like that feeling, actually. I do believe they're probably like plastic or whatever, but I don't care. It has a nice little finish to it. I love it. And again, it's legitimately, it reacts really well. However, I just leave it in automatic, and that does a phenomenal job too. I'm not a big fan of dual clutches in primarily like a lot of cheaper cars. They don't feel right. However, you know, this is that very expensive Audi. They fine-tuned it, they refined it. It gives me hope for like kind of normal cars down the line. You know, a lot of Kias, Hyundais, they use double clutches, double clutch gearboxes. And if Audi can do this amazing of a job with the gearbox, these things have a lot of potential, essentially. So I love that. You look at the seats, nice. This whole car is, you know, black on black, very baller, like that. It's got this nice diamond treaded thing going on, super plush seats. Love the suppleness of it. Reminds me of a Lexus, except, you know, a lot of character with this one with the diamond stitch pattern in it. Literally no flaws with the seats. It's aged perfectly. I love the shape of it. Phenomenal. You know, that's what I'm telling you. With these Audi products, they age so much better than Benz's, because, you know, look at this. Like, it, absolutely nothing, no creaks and rattles. This is up there, maybe even superior to Lexus, Genesis, and Acuras. Actually, this is just so damn solid. I mentioned this before, you know, Audi and Range Rover are kind of like the two kind of Euro cars I've noticed that age this well, and I'm talking about like the interiors and stuff like that. They're just so well done. You know, high quality materials. Of course, I'm assuming this is real wood, very nice, very solid, real kind of alloys being used, all about high quality leathers. It's really fantastic. Memory seats, one touch auto up and down windows. It is some type of very thick double pane glass thing going on. Very solid. I absolutely love it. This whole vehicle feels like a bank vault in here, and that's highly appreciated. The doors aren't super big, you know what I'm saying? Very petite kind of door. You can easily grab and close it. It's not an issue. They're not super heavy, but again, they have that quality feel to it. You have very nice automatic headlights in this car. Bose audio system sounds very baller. Love it. Great crisp sound coming out of that. Traditional gear lever feels of quality. Very nice. Goes into gear perfectly. No issues. Infotainment still works beautifully till this day. Very easy to use. You have this nice little number pad thing going on. It's just very nice, elegant system. Really like it. And this whole screen does actually fold in and out, you know, when you start and stop the car, of course. There's no stop start function here, which I love. With the S7s and RS7s, there's none of that crap going on like there is with the A7, so there's nothing to turn off there, so I like that. You do have a CD player in here, of course, so there is that. There's a nice center help screen here, similar to the Hyundai Kias. You know, I believe Hyundai Kia just copied what Audi did here. It's very similar to that, and it's very easy, very legible. It shows you some great information, of course, and again, no stupid check engine lights, nothing wrong with this car. You know, it drives perfectly. No warnings, no nonsense, nothing like that. Just a clean car, so that's great. Storage space is very good. You know, it's that very practical baller everyday Audi. You know, door pocket space is good. Nice 2 cup holders here. Nice little center storage compartment here, which is nice. What do you call this thing? Armrest. Not as much space in there. You know, it's a little bit compromised, but it's okay. Not a big deal. A little aux cable thing going on. Damn thing doesn't like to close. That's the only thing. It's a little, you know, fussy to deal with. You have a decent amount of space in the glove box. You do have a sunroof in here. No pano crap or anything like that. It's just a nice little sunroof, so that's pretty good. Rear seats. Now I will say this, not a whole lot of space in the rear. I mean, I do fit perfectly. I am 5'11", but please keep in mind I sit rather close to the steering wheel. I sit the right way at the steering wheel, actually, I should say. But you know, it's I don't do this whole lean back gangster thing. I sit upright and close. I just naturally give rear occupants more space that way. So I obviously fit behind myself. However, 6 feet and over, please be very cautious. If you have a gangster lean type of thing going on, it's going to be very difficult to get people in the back. So just keep that in mind, please. Also, nice little heads-up display. Nice little features in here, of course. You know, nice little climate controls, completely separated from the screen. Heated seats. There's no cooled seats in here, I don't believe, but that's okay, not a big deal. Heated steering wheel. You know, nice, great little features I like to see in a vehicle. But yeah, anyway, back to those rear seats. You know, you have the HVAC in the rear as well. That's nice. And again, the same diamond treaded stitching continues in the seats. They're very plush, very comfy, of course, but the space is a little bit compromised, and the rear kind of slope design could affect things, but I had plenty of space, honestly, for headroom and legroom, so I wasn't really tripping over that. And of course, the trunk is a massive highlight with these A7, S7, RS7 cars, because it's like this huge hatchback thing. You can fold the rear seats down. It is tremendous, so practical. Makes like an SUV completely worthless, honestly. That's another reason why these things make so much sense. It's just that kind of do-all vehicle. Drives great because of all the high-quality materials that they use. No shortcuts here. Very super buttery smooth, man. Like steering, gear shifts, everything is seamless. The ride quality is great. Nice daily driver car. This is by far one of my most favorite German cars. Up there with the BMW 7 Series, but again, that's a 7 Series. That's why that's aged pretty well, and why that drives so good. It's like the most plush BMW that they make. So, you know, that's got nowhere near the same level of practicality as this vehicle. Maybe not even the same level of swagger, because this thing has aged tremendously well. You can buy this and people think it's a 2020, so that's great. So I am just a massive fan of these Audi vehicles, dude. Like, it's the best aging, great driving, super smooth, super plush vehicle that you can just carry all your crap in and fold down the seats. So that's a massive thing to me. So if you appreciate that for 35, 36 grand, definitely check it out. But if you're interested in the one that Cary Imports has here, please do take advantage of the warranty that they offer. That's the main reason why I come here. You know, nice cheap warranty, peace of mind in ownership. So if you're interested in that, all their information is down in the description box below. But thank you again for watching this review. Take care and goodbye.